Okay. Light on set. Okay. Hello, as Amos said, I will be doing the question portion of this tribal council. I know none of you want to be here, but this is part of the game you signed up for. So let's start with Brandon. Brandon, take me back to the first day of this game. What was the moment where it hit you? Oh crap, I'm actually doing this.
That's the first challenge where we ran. I don't know, maybe 2 miles. Felt like an hour, hour and a half. We like just come out of our little sequester rooms and essentially went right into it. And yeah, it was real from the first moment. I think we stepped on that mat.
Nina, what was that like going into such a taxing challenge after barely meeting each other?
It was really exciting. I think to get started with such a long challenge, I think I overheard production or you told us flat out, I don't remember, that it was like the longest challenge that you've ever done. And I was like, this is epic. And then, we're going and then getting to the first challenge stop on the route. And it's like, chug 40, actually only 20, thankfully, bottles of water and eat a jar of mayo. And it was like, I was like, did I sign up for the challenge accidentally? But that was wild. But it was exciting, and I was a little worried about what the rest of the challenges were going to be based on that. But I was here for it, and we ended up winning, so that was obviously a great way to start off the game.
Janai.
Yes.
Take me back to your first impressions of this tribe in those moments. What was your initial reaction to this group of 9?
I was really happy to be on Purple, Team Purple, and my first impression when we were doing the challenge is that we all stepped up and we gelled as a team from the moment that we met, and we've been strong ever since. So yeah, it's tough being here.
Trev, a lot of these challenges have been very back and forth. They've won some, y'all have won some. So what do you think separated the win today? Is there anything that you think this tribe could have done differently to win this immunity?
I think it was a tough one here. They had a pretty good strategy with dropping and like having some of their faster people go before it. And I think our tribe did our best and like we performed well. And I think we certainly have a strong tribe. I think it just wasn't the challenge for us on this one today.
Okay. Speaking of that other tribe, Isaiah, give me your assessment of the opposite tribe. Even though you've had limited interaction, I'm sure you've formed some opinions on that group.
Yeah. I mean, I guess me, but I think collectively we've talked about it. I think that overall, I think we're pretty evenly matched with them. They have some pretty strong guys and women on there. They're very camaraderie, I think that's the word, like we are. Didn't really see any dynamics other than the one who went home, Jay West. Felt like he was very much like kind of like he seemed to be like the loudest of the group and like kind of was like almost he gave like a leader-esque vibe. So seeing him gone was when you saw our faces, we were very shocked. I think that was a genuine reaction because it seemed like he probably had the most control there. But yeah, not better than us, but they are a pretty decent tribe.
O'Shea, is there anyone on that tribe in particular that has stood out in your mind and you think this tribe needs to keep an eye on?
Yeah, probably Andrew. Just from like the interactions on the mat and at the challenges, he seems super good with everybody, and he's strong. He does well in challenges. So probably him.
Rob, one thing that we told you about earlier on in the game was the fact that each of you are going to be given a third of an idol, and if you combine that with 2 other people, that forms a full idol. So where does that come into the conversations into a vote like this?
It has you know, I thought it was something that wouldn't come into play until later. And I feel like it's been like a lot of paranoia about are people already giving beads to each other, you know, who is keeping theirs, who isn't, who may have an idol or may not at this point. So, yeah, I mean, I definitely thought that, you know, we were planning to sort of like wait until a swap and then use it, you know, for the tribe. And that's what I'm still like hoping we're doing. So,
Gerlin, Rob brings up how at least he thought that'd be more of a conversation piece later, but it sounds like it's coming up even now. Would you echo that?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, I think that we had discussed in the opportunity or potential of a swap that, you know, we would do our best in case one of us ends up like severely outnumbered and maybe give up a couple beads so that we can make sure they at least make it through the next challenge. But it's definitely on everyone's minds. It's hard not to be going into your first tribal. But like Rob said, we're just hoping that everyone stuck to their word on that, and that's how we're going to use it to benefit all of us in the long run.
Sam, it's only the first vote of the game.
Yeah.
Although you guys have done a lot together, you haven't actually voted yet, so there's not a whole lot to go off of. So what do you think the tribe should base the vote on?
Oh, I don't know. Not me. I don't know. I guess there's a lot of factors that come into play, but like you could do it. You could go on tribe strength, and that doesn't mean brute strength. That means like strength, like who's good, who has who is talented in different ways, and how do their skills add together and mesh together as a tribe. And it's really tough because honestly, all of us seem to fill different gaps of this puzzle that is the purple tribe, you know? And it's difficult, but I think, yeah, you have to go with your gut. You have to go with the connections you've made and, you know, who you can trust. And, you know, we're really going to build trust on this first vote. Hopefully, you know.
Brandon,
Yeah.
we do have to talk about, you had a bit of a rough morning
Yep.
in terms of health.
Mm-hmm.
So first I'll ask, where are you at right now?
I'm feeling 100% better. Was sick this morning, probably just dehydration. And wasn't able to compete in the challenge, which is unfortunate because I do feel like I could have helped our tribe in that challenge if I were up for it. But laying in the shade and having a couple ice packs on me, I think really helped. So I'm feeling better. Obviously, you know, I was a weak spot for the team today, but I hope, you know, that's not really part of what's being taken into account tonight.
Well, and that I'll follow up with the reason I asked that is because, as you know, this is a game where it's all about trying to give people a reason to vote for someone that's not you.
Yep.
And that stands out. So does that concern you that could come up as a reason to maybe vote you?
Of course. But I think this tribe knows that I'm, you know, when I'm on, I'm great in challenges. I work hard around camp. I've got really good relationships with every single person of this tribe. And so I hope that's taken more into account than the one challenge today.
Trev, if what you think will happen ends up happening, how will this tribe be different afterwards?
We'll move forward in a direction that's good for the tribe in general. And I feel like we're going to be stronger together.
Stronger in all aspects? All right. Well, those are all the questions I had. Now, before we get to the vote, this will be something at every tribal council. We're going to have a quick period where if there's anything else you'd like to say, either to the tribe as a whole or to someone individually, this could be your last chance you have to do so.
I love you guys.
Love y'all too.
It's really nice. Like, had a good time together.
Yeah.
I love you guys. Keep doing it. You know?
Who's filming them, this part? Kiri? You ready, Kiri? All right. All right, everyone, we're going to get to the vote. How it's going to work, we're going to start with Trav, go to Brandon, Nina, and with Lachey. Trav? Brandon? Nina? Sam? Isaiah? O'Shea?
All right, I'm going to go tally the votes. All right. Once the votes are read, the decision is final. The person voted out will be asked to leave the tribal council area immediately. Now I'll ask if anybody has a hidden immunity idol and you'd like to play it. Now would be the time to do so. All right, I'll read the votes. First vote. Janai. Sam. One vote Janai, one vote Sam. Janai. Two votes Janai. Janai. It's three votes Janai, one vote Sam. Janai. That's four votes Janai, one vote Sam. Second person voted on surviving Reelfoot first fire. Janai. No? Travis spoken, but you do have an opportunity to get back in this game. Get up this way.
All right, so you just got voted out. What's the feeling right now?
Well, that sucked. Obviously, it was kind of expected, but not. I'm emotional because it's our first tribal. But I played my heart out with this team. Anyway, it just felt awful. And it felt awful writing somebody else's name down as well. But it is what it is. I understand. I understand, but I don't. Let's put it that way. But that's how it goes, and hopefully I can get back in this game.
So you say you understand, but you don't. Can you go into that a little bit?
Well, I guess because I was told somebody else, and it was a strong somebody else. So, and that's the person that I wrote down. So that's why I already had heard my name. So that's why I say I understand, but then I don't understand why it changed.
Is there anyone in particular you feel betrayed by?
Oh yeah, definitely. Trav. Potentially Lachey, because all the votes aren't, whatchamacallit, they're not all out there. But that I saw when I got voted out. But probably Sam, I would say. I don't, like, honestly, I'm not sure, but that's who, and possibly Brandon, but again, I don't know, so.
Is there anyone you're, I don't want to say rooting for, but anyone you do hope does well in the game?
Yeah, Isaiah. Isaiah's a good guy. He's really strong, and I believe him when he said that he was loyal to me. So that's who I would say would be the strongest player in this.
Last question from me. To anyone out there who's been watching on Facebook and has been rooting for you, is there anything you'd like to say to them?
You know what? This is an amazing experience. So if you have a dream to do it, you can. I was given this great opportunity, and I really enjoy it. But the hardest part is, the talking about other people and doing all of that. But Reelfoot Everybody is awesome here, and it really is the real deal. If you saw any parts or snippets of the first challenge, that was pretty wild. And our first immunity challenge, that was wild as well, that we had won. This one we fell short, but Reelfoot, surviving Reelfoot is really great.
Any final thoughts?
Just that, obviously, I'm not happy that I was voted out, but I understand the game, but it still hurts, especially because our tribe really gelled. So I think it was a hard decision, even though it was me.
Thank you.